So far, we have considered two primary philosophical arguments against the possibility of free will: the consequence argument and the exclusion argument. Now, we'll consider a third philosophical argument against the possibility of free will. This one is called the luck argument. It rests on the idea that there are two kinds of luck. First, there's the good or bad luck we had in being born with the constitution we have, with our particular genetics, into a world that we didn't create, that fosters or harms us and our development. We can't be held responsible for the world we were born into or the genetics that we inherited, since we did not choose these things. They just happened. And we have to cope with the hand that we were dealt with in life. Let's call this kind of luck constitutive luck. Besides constitutive luck, there's a second kind of luck that we can call present luck. Let's say we decide, just by chance, to go jogging around the park clockwise versus counterclockwise. Let's say a mugger is looking for someone to rob. If, just by chance, we both go around the park in the same direction, we will most likely not meet each other. But if we, again, just by chance, go around the park in opposite directions, the probability that we will cross paths is very high. In one case, we encounter the mugger and are attacked, while in the other case, we don't encounter him and are not attacked. In either case, we did not choose to be attacked or not to be attacked, so we can't be blamed if we are attacked or not attacked. Getting attacked just happened by chance. We either had the good present luck of not running into the mugger, or we had the bad present luck of running into him. Now, the luck argument against free will runs like this. If decisions or actions occur indeterministically, such that two or more alternative decisions might be made at a given moment, each with a non-zero probability of happening, and everything is exactly the same in the world's history until that very moment, then there's nothing about the world or the decider prior to that moment that accounts for one decision being made over the other. Which option gets chosen is just a matter of chance, even if it's weighted chance. It's just a matter of luck. It's not a matter of the chooser having some influence on the likelihood of specific outcomes. If one decision should turn out to be better or worse than another, well, that's just a matter of good luck or bad luck, and not a matter of the agent's choice. But if decisions and consequences are just a matter of luck, then the decider cannot be held responsible for the decision he made or for its consequences. Note that if the argument from luck works at all, it works against libertarians and also against compatibilists. According to the luck argument against free will is ruled out by luck, regardless of the truth of determinism or indeterminism. This entails a denial that anyone bears any moral responsibility whatsoever. If this view is correct, then even though Hitler chose to systematically exterminate millions of people, he did so just by luck, whether because of his inherited wicked character, which was his bad constitutive luck, and which was hardly his fault, or because of his present luck when deciding between options just by chance, so again, hardly his fault. Now, I find this view to be utterly wrong, nihilistic, and impoverished, but there are philosophers who argue this. So let's try to understand the luck argument a little bit better before we try to dismantle it. The philosopher Peter van Inwagen imagines a potential thief, pondering whether to steal from the church's poor box. He's in an emotionally and morally torn state before his decision is made. He feels torn because he's undergoing an internal struggle between two conflicting motives in him. He's torn between his motive to have more money and his conflicting motive to honor a promise that he made to his mother on her deathbed to live a moral life. If he forgoes stealing the money, he forgoes something he desires, namely the money. But if he reneges on his promise to his mother, he also loses something he desires, which is his desire to live up to his mother's expectations and his desire to not break a promise that he made to her. Philosophers who believe in the validity of the luck argument tend to argue that defenders of libertarian free will, like myself, fail to offer any explanation of why it is that the thief decides to steal rather than not steal the money. If he steals, well, stealing just happens. And had the decision, by chance, gone the other way, libertarians, they argue, cannot explain why he refrained from stealing. In that case, not stealing just happens. The genes that the potential thief inherited are a matter of constitutive luck, so he cannot be held responsible for that or for the choices, acts, and consequences that follow because of the character that was foisted on him by his genetics and the environment that he was born into. But whether he chooses by chance to steal or not steal comes down to present luck, so he can also not be held responsible for stealing or not stealing, whichever the case may be, and cannot be held responsible for any downstream consequences of his actions either. Two philosophers, Robert Cain and Mark Balaguer, have tried to defend libertarian free will on the basis of such torn decisions. Cain gives the example of a businesswoman who's in a rush to get to an important business meeting. On the way, she sees somebody who needs help. She's torn because one part of her wants to help the person in need, whereas another part of her wants to make it on time to her important meeting. Cain says that whatever she decides, whether to help the person in need or not, will be an act that she wills to be the outcome because there was a part of her who wanted that to be the outcome, whether she helps the person or doesn't. An advocate of the luck argument against free will, such as the philosopher Neil Levy, in his book Hard Luck, would say that this is not a good way to justify free will, libertarian free will or otherwise, because torn decisions just come down to present luck. And if every choice comes down to either constitutive luck or present luck, there can be no moral responsibility, no free will, and no blame. Terrible things just happen. Indeed, that is Levy's view. The Holocaust, for example, on this kind of philosophical view, just comes down to bad luck. I find this view to be both nihilistic and absurd, but I have to give reasons why. In the next segment, I will try to rescue libertarian free will from the clutches of the nihilistic argument that everything that we decide and do just comes down to blameless luck.